sunshine, rocking the good time with all our friends. Easy and carefree, out in the summer breeze, loving a simple things for hours on end. Right about sundown, we lay on the ground, count on the stars as they come out one at a time. Ain't this a sweet life?
Hey everybody, I'm X Factor winner Tate Stevens, and welcome to the Sweet Life Podcast, where we talk about everything from music, sports, food, entertainment, and, well, just living the sweet life. All right, everybody. Hey, it is me, Tate Stevens, along with AJ Kronk, as usual.
Yeah, man.
All right, today, episode number 2, season 3, starting to roll.
Yeah.
Already on episode number 2, season 3.
We finally nailed down 2 weeks in a row.
So, this week is going to be a lot of fun because we're coming into the time of year that I love. The fall is my favorite time of year, not just because of Thanksgiving, because I'm fat, but because of the things we get to do outside. Obviously, big outdoors guy, hunter, fisherman, that kind of thing, and football also, thrown in there too. But mainly the hunting and fishing thing. Today, I have a really cool guest, buddy of mine, been in the outdoor industry for 20 plus years, known the guy since school. He's got a lot to talk about, a lot to let people know, a little knowledge he can throw on some people. And so if you like hunting and fishing, just really hunting right now, if you like, deer hunting, elk hunting, turkey hunting, that kind of thing, if you're into that, we got the guy. So stick around. All right, man. Hey, it's going to be cool. I got my buddy, Mr. Kevin Dishong, in studio with us today. Going to talk about some hunting and also some taxidermy because he does both. He's really good at both of them. So let's get into the hunting thing, because that's what we're going to talk about today a lot. What got you into hunting? Where did you start? I know we talked a little bit, but so Dad was not. Dad didn't hunt?
No, he got me into rifles.
Okay,
and, allowed me to do anything. But since you asked, I have to track it back to my mom's side of the family. When we would go to my grandpa had property in Pike County, Illinois, and so when we would go up there, Grandpa would always be hunting.
Right.
So we would pull in, Grandpa was somewhere. But I didn't know where he was. He was hunting. I was a little kid, and I couldn't go because you could mess up Grandpa's spots.
Right.
And so I think for me, the interest of wanting to know where he was, we'd go track his deer and so on, but I never got to see him hunt. I did check a trap line with him, stuff like that. But the unknown of, I wonder what Grandpa's doing. I wonder where he's at. That has to be the first introduction to hunting that I had, was the few times a year that we would go to Illinois.
Right.
Grandpa would be hunting and, usually successful. When we would go there, he would treat us with fresh meat. So he would go out that morning and hunt squirrels, and it wouldn't be frozen. It'd be fresh.
Oh.
And so as a little boy, you're up there, you're fishing with Grandpa, hunting with Grandpa, and that has to be the initial part of it.
So, and you were little, right?
Yeah.
Then, Grandpa still have some land in Pike County, Illinois?
No.
Oh, man, it's a bummer.
Yeah. He did the buy sell, and then now he's, pretty much out of the hunting and stuff now at his age.
Right. So it's like, okay, hey, what's Grandpa doing?
Right.
He goes out in the woods.
And now we're dragging a deer back.
And now we're bringing these animals back that he's harvested.
What was all the stuff in between? I need to go experience that.
Yeah. So when did that start for you? Were you high school or were you junior high?
So I think my first hunt, I was 14 or 15 years old.
Okay.
And I remember it plain as day. I was scared of the dark. As a little boy, everybody wants to be tough.
Hey, no.
You know what I'm saying? No. Nobody wants to say that.
You don't even...
But
I know some 40-year-old men that
I'm not scared of the dark in any way now, but then I was. So, and I think as men, we try to conquer all of our childhood fears. When I was a child and I wanted to go hunting, you had to go out in the dark.
Right.
And there was Boogeyman was out there, Bigfoot,
whatever.
It's funny, but
it is.
So, anyway, I was about 15 years old, scared to death, and I went out with somebody. We were down at the lake. My parents had a marina.
That's right.
And it was a lady, the manager.
Was it Stockton?
What? Yes.
Yep.
And it's big buck. I don't know. I mean, as a kid, they're all big.
They're all big.
They come in, and I had my uncle's Winchester Model 94 lever action 30-30.
Right.
And I did everything I could to hold it as steady as I could, and I was shaking so bad I shot. It ran off, and I couldn't stand up. And I was hooked ever since.
Yeah. Okay, so just a quick thing. You said men try to conquer their fears as they get older. I've been afraid of spiders my whole life.
It's not working.
And I will never conquer that fear.
No, we don't have any spiders.
No.
No, it's not happening. Okay.
I'm not afraid of the boogeyman.
No,
I'm not afraid of any
but that
person.
spider's got you.
Golly, creepy little bastards. I can't listen. And the best kung fu teacher is walking in the dark
in the web. Yes,
you will punch. You were like kicking, crane.
Everybody does.
I'll scream.
Because it's stuck to you somewhere.
It's on you.
Yes, it's on you.
And they're quiet killers. Here's the thing. I'm not even kidding.
Dude,
they don't
really,
make
this
sound.
Is how we start this out.
Yeah. Hey, I'm telling you,
Okay.
just for now,
Yeah.
the spider is, they don't make noise. They're fast.
Yeah.
They're sneaky, and they bite you.
Well, spiders are going away anyway.
Sort of.
Yes.
Yeah. I walked into a few. So Hayden shot a deer the other night and a doe, and we were walking through, and I'm like, "Oh, here they come!" And then no.
You try New Mexico. There's tarantulas all over down there.
Yeah, that's probably not going to
Yeah,
happen
every
until
year
late,
that I'm
late,
there,
late.
they're migrating in the fall, and we see quite a few of them.
That's weird.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if I'll ever go there then.
Yeah. I've got plenty of videos of them on my phone.
I'm sure you do, and we're good. I don't need to see them.
Okay.
But anyway, so now 14, 15, bow hunting. Are we bow hunting or rifle hunting?
That was rifle.
So, and you guys had where you lived, you had some woods right there
I
at
can
the
hunt
house.
out my back door, yes.
Yeah, so that was easy. That made it nice.
Yeah.
So did you realize that you're like, this is it?
Yeah.
I'm hooked on this.
Yeah, so it was, and I think for a lot of people, I think it's deep. I mean, for men, it's deep. For me, it was just something that was constantly in my head. It was something that called at me all the time, and I didn't have, sounds funny, but I didn't really have a choice. It was just there. And so all I did was answered the call all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in the country, dirt bikes, motorcycles, hunting, fishing. I played in a creek. There wasn't nothing else.
Right.
And so it just went from there. That's what it did. And very quickly went to archery.
Right.
After archery hunting, I still rifle hunted. I believe in all types of hunting. I don't care what it is. If it was rifle season, I rifle hunted. But from about 16 on, I was a avid archery hunter. And I shot bear bow, traditional bear bow, all of that. But it was just something that all the way up, even till to this day, it just screams at me. And
that's for me, archery is sure. Now look, and I feel like I'm a better shot with my bow than I am with a gun for some reason. I don't know why, but obviously I can shoot something at 500 yards with my rifle, and you can't do that with a bow. But I feel more confident hunting with a bow than I do with a rifle. And it might be some of the misses I've had with a rifle that I'm like, how did I not hit? It's 100 yards away. How did I not hit it? Or I hit it, but why did I hit it there? That kind of thing. So I love bow hunting. You have to get close.
yes.
You can, and as a hunter, you'll know this too. Sometimes you smell them.
Oh yeah.
Before you can see
Especially
them.
elk. When we're hunting elk, I know when I'm in the elk long before I'm in them because of the smell.
Really?
Yes.
So
it's
now
full on.
that's something I have to do.
Yes.
I have to elk hunt.
Yeah, it's 800 pound turkey. It's awesome.
Well, yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I always have friends. So here's the thing. I have friends, Craig Morgan and some of the big country stars that are my buddies, and they all elk hunt and stuff like that. And I'm like, hey guys, take me.
Right.
Take me when you go. Oh yeah, we're gonna get you in. We got you. We're gonna, I'm like,
and it never happens.
Phone never rings.
Yes.
And I'm like, and then I see this giant bull. They're sitting behind. Look what I got. And I'm like, hey guys,
Still checking your phone.
yeah. I'm like, I guess thanks for that. It's broken.
It's broke.
Yeah. Numbers the same.
It has to be
Haven't
broke
changed.
because you were going to call.
I know you said you would.
Yeah.
No, and so I have to do it. And we're all hunters and gatherers. That's what we are. So we're, like you said, you kind of answer the call. It is not to be philosophical, but it is what we do.
It is, yeah.
You know, it is something that everyone's born and bred with. It's born into us.
Yes.
We hunt and gather.
Right.
You know, some people just don't have it.
We have the luxury that our food is in a grocery store, but the reality is we are prepared.
Yeah, to take care of it.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, another tangent that I go off on. This is why AJ he just laughs and he mutes me probably a lot. So so you don't have to listen to this stuff.
Surprised that cricket sound doesn't come up.
Oh yeah. So now whitetail in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Obviously that's what you started hunting.
Yes.
It is one of the coolest things to watch a white-tailed deer in its own habitat.
Yes.
Do what they do. They're really cool. They're really neat creatures, man. They're
amazing. They're a very tricky animal.
Yeah. And so what draws you?
So for me in the beginning, honestly, it was hunting. Hunting was very related to killing. As a young boy, like, let's face it, right? It's a very strange thing. There's the circle of life. And when you're a boy, I went out and I went hunting, but I killed stuff. That's what I did.
Yep.
And very quickly after that, you gain respect for the animal that you killed. You took its life. Now, my family eats nothing but what we kill or catch. So, you know, obviously we go to restaurants or whatever, but at home, it's the same thing. Yep. So I raised he had a steak the other day and wanted to know what was wrong with it because it was sour. Because he not used to fat in the food.
Oh.
So that's how much venison and elk and what we eat. But the other thing for hunting for me was it humbles you all the time. You're going to be unsuccessful 9 out of 10 times.
Absolutely.
And so out of all the things that you can do right in life, hunting will always set you straight. It's a great equalizer. And so, you know what I mean?
I never thought of it that way, but
struggle
you're
is
right.
amazing. And if you don't like struggles, everything's going to work against you, right? That's how it works. So when you go hunting, it's exceptionally rewarding when it does work out because so many times it doesn't. But as a person that learns fast, I'm a fast learner, all this, but everything's going to go wrong. It's not in your favor. It's a prey animal. It's smarter than you. It's better than you. It lives there all the time. And you have to go outsmart it. And the achievement, everybody says, they're not a hunter. I'm not a hunter. And so are you more of a man because you killed? Yes, I guess I am. I know that sounds funny, but when they say that, I see it all the time on social media platforms. Everybody, you killed, you know, I'm friends with a lot of world champion coyote callers. And, you killed 200 coyotes. Does that make you more of a man? Maybe it does. We have, everybody wants to score another touchdown. They want to hit another home run.
Yep.
No offense. I want to go hunt another deer. I want to be successful. I want to fill the freezer. I want to achieve a goal. And the goal is I practiced all year long and I want to kill the animal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
We look at, and I know a lot of people, AJ, I don't know, AJ's from Arkansas. So the natural state, man, they got deer. I mean, you guys have abundant amounts of deer.
South of the Arkansas River? Or, because you have pine plantations down there.
Well,
you know,
yeah, kind of down by Little Rock is where I was from.
So you're still a little bit northern.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, did you do a lot of hunting?
Not really.
Not really
No.
when you were growing up?
Mm-mm.
So my dad, of course, fishing, hunting and all that. My dad, that's how we grew up. I used to kind of not like fishing so much.
Yeah.
Because, you know, my dad, we had to be quiet all the time. You know, you can't talk. We're on a boat. I'm like, dude, we're on a boat. My dad's like, yeah, you're talking too loud. Shut up.
Right. It doesn't matter what you do. If you're in the outdoors, dad's always going to go, shh. And as a kid, you're going to go, why?
Why? I'm like, we're on a boat. They can't hear. They're in the
Well,
water.
you're just banging the boat and the fish can hear you. They really just want peace and quiet. I have a 7-year-old. I'm living it right now.
Right.
My kids look at me like, Dad, the boat just flew by us at 50 miles. Shh, son, shh.
They're used to the boats going fast.
They're not used to you. So now you know.
I guess that's what it was. But so I kind of got off the fishing thing, but I really got into the hunting thing.
Yeah.
And it was the archery thing. And because it was hard.
Yeah, it is.
To learn to shoot accurately.
Yeah.
From distance. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 yards.
Yeah.
You know, when you're shooting the distance, it's like, you can't even really see what you're aiming at. You know, your pin looking through
covers your
your
target
pin
up. Yep.
completely covers the whole target, and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, well, let it go, and I
Right.
did it.
I
You
did
know,
it.
so it's the practice, like you said. It is the everything leading up to harvesting that animal.
Yeah.
Some animals are like the whitetail, because what we do here in the Midwest, whitetail and turkey hunting, you know, and then you obviously elk hunting for you. I haven't done it yet, but I will.
Yeah.
We get to, at certain times, this is the other thing that I love about it. We get to kind of reverse nature a little bit, especially turkey hunting. You go turkey hunting and put a call in your mouth.
Yeah, and you make the tom come to the
To
hen.
you, because
Yes.
that's
the
not
nature
how,
of the hen goes to the tom.
right. And bucks, kind of this. I'm grunting,
Right.
and I'm grunting, and I'm sounding like another male mature deer. He's going to turn from, hopefully, if we do it right, and he's and they're in the right mood to come fight me. We can get a buck to come in and find me.
Yeah.
You know, and some people use decoys, some people don't. You know, that's you know, you could talk all day about decoys and
Right.
why to use them and why not to use them. You know,
When not to, whatever.
yeah, and so that part of it, and elk hunting, you bugle, you cow call, you
Yeah.
bugle, you cow call.
Yeah, and it's strictly, I mean, mostly either spot and stalk or calling. There's very little sit and wait.
Right. And I've seen a few people water
Over
hole.
water hole, yes.
And to me, that I don't want to do that. I mean, if that's my very first time I get to hunt and that's what they're doing at that time, then I will do it. But I want to hear them, for one.
Yeah.
I want to hear that thing just go screaming, you know, because in the wild on TV it sounds cool, but I know when you're out there with them, it has to be even bigger.
What's
and
amazing
cooler.
about them is when they come in, they're loud. So we sneak through the woods. It's funny, predators sneak through the woods. So we sneak through the woods. They pick you out very quick because an
Right.
elk is loud. They bang their horns on trees. They're rolling rocks and snapping twigs, and all of that's going on when you're calling them in. And so with the first time you ever call an elk in, you're really surprised at how much commotion is happening when it's coming in. It's just crazy. You're like, oh my
Right.
goodness, I'm tippy-toeing around here worrying about rolling a rock, and he sounds like a bulldozer coming through. And moose are the same way.
Right.
You know, they're
Right.
breaking everything on the way in. They're big, heavy animals, and it's noisy.
So fast forward a little bit here. We're out of high school. You've been successful hunting in high school, in all platforms, you know, turkey hunting. And is that when you kind of got into turkey hunting also in high school? Did you start turkey hunting in high school?
Yeah, when I took on hunting, I took it all on.
Yeah. And this time of year, especially, it's like you smell things, everything smells different. There's a feeling in the air. You walk it today. I should have been in a tree today.
So for me, it's my wife's potpourri that's all over the house that's contaminating my clothes. That's a different story. We'll get into that later.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Because
I know.
There's nothing
Candles.
better than sitting down in your tree stand. And you're like,
Pumpkin
I smell
spice.
sherbet. How in the heck?
This is pumpkin spice. Hope you guys like
Right.
hope you guys like your lattes.
I hope the wind's in my face. 'Cause, yeah.
No, absolutely. So
every guy knows that. Everybody's laughing right now because they know it.
Yeah. Okay, so fast forward a little bit. Now you've been successful on your own, just hunting.
Yep.
You kind of got into not kind of, but you got into filming.
Yes.
And you're filming your own hunts, and you're filming your buddies' hunts, and you're
Yes.
filming, and you're doing this thing. Was that the natural progression for you to get into that? Because you watched it on TV, obviously.
I
But
was with a group of hard guys that when we lived together, it seemed like we just shot bows and hunted every day. And eventually we started filming our own stuff. And it happens when things happen. It's strange how they happen, but a couple of us started with marketing firms. So what there was the outdoor product needed to go to big box, and there was a rep firm that brought the two together. So we would go and talk about product. We didn't sell. We would go to Bass Pros and Cabela's. We were in with that marketing group, and we would stand there and talk to customers about the product, not promote the sell, just inform them. Well, that got us into sponsorship stuff. We're around the manufacturers, around all the people in the industry and so on. Well, then since we filmed our own stuff and we did it, when you do it as carefree kids, there's an innocence about it that's very attractive.
Yeah.
And so both of us got invited to send some stuff into Archer's Choice.
Yeah.
And so we started filming for them. We filmed for some other small stuff, and we had tons of footage. We sent that in, and then next thing you know, we're traveling all over the United States and Canada, hunting and filming. Half the time I would hunt, and half the time I would film, and so on with the same guy that I was with.
Yeah. When did that? It's so much work. People, and that's the other thing. People don't understand. They watch it on TV. If you go watch, Bill Jordan on TV or Monster Bucks or whatever you're going to watch on TV, Addicted to the Outdoors or any of the shows, The Crush with Lee and Tiffany, whatever. It's so much work involved in that. It's like you can't do anything else but that.
Right.
That's your job.
Yes.
That's your life.
Yeah. So as the videographer, you have to be you have to be equal with the hunter. I mean, your skill level has to be equal with the hunter, if not better. But, for me, when I filmed Dog Soldier TV, I carried 3 cameras. I had the over-the-shoulder broadcast camera. I had a DSLR around my neck for cinematography stuff. And then I had a point-of-view camera, something that established the shot. Well, when the talent, Steve Kreiner, whoever would be in front of the camera, when they jump up and leave, they just unload their gun and they walk to the truck. I undo everything, take it all down. I mean, what's going on here. And then I get in the truck, we get up, and we have to set it all up again. It's a lot of work. And then to do a high country elk hunt the same way, where you're charging batteries, you have to take batteries up there, chargers. I mean, it's pretty. It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. It's very rewarding, but it's not easy.
Yeah, no, I that's what, and people don't understand that. So you were in the outdoor world with the TV stuff, and I know you were a Dog Soldier TV with Steve for how long? How long did you do that? 3 years?
Well, he started the Dog Soldier, and I started filming for him in 2012 or spring of 13, and so I just stopped. He moved out to Wyoming, and so I haven't filmed for him much lately.
Right. He's I mean. And some people might not know his show is his Dog Soldier show, but they kill coyotes and Predator show. And it's crazy to watch, and what we see on TV, it's bang, 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 coyote, bang, 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 and 3 coyotes are dead. But that
takes us all year to film it.
It took 3 days to film those 3 coyotes dying, but you get it in a minute and a half.
Right.
That's the work that goes into all these shows, every one of them.
Even more now. I mean, it's way worse now. I mean, these kids are going to school for, they're going to, I don't know what the courses are anymore. Back then, there wasn't a resume that I could fill out. Right. I would just picked up a camera, film stuff, and it was good enough to be on TV.
Yep.
So then we learned and went with the times. But these kids are going to college now for all of
the cinematography part of it,
the editing,
the writing, the storylines. Because they build them. That's what they're doing. And they don't when the people see people on TV doing their interview part, their setup to a hunt. It's all written. It's all scripted. Somebody has to write that stuff, or because most people can't just.
So we have a shot list. Like if I'm filming you, you get your animal and you say things. Yeah. I have to write down what you said, so I have footage to back up what you said.
Right.
Just like him saying, if you say so and so's name and we don't know who it is, there's nothing to tie it together.
Right.
So my job became filling in the blanks to what the talent was saying. Whether it's an establishing shot of the countryside or the sunset or the water hole or whatever. It wasn't just sitting down behind some guy filming. I mean, whenever he would say something, I'd have a list of things he said. I'd have to film him to fill in the blanks. Yeah. And it didn't. It started from the second I jumped in the truck to film the travel till the time we got home.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's a full-time job and a lot of work that people don't realize. Yes. So, okay, let's hunt. You've hunted successfully around the country. How many other countries?
Just here in Canada.
Okay. Yep. You've killed elk.
Yep.
Muleys.
Yep.
Whitetail.
Yep.
Turkeys. How many different species of turkeys you've killed?
Actually just the eastern.
Just the eastern?
Yep.
Okay. Now people are like, are you part of the deer thing where you kill a Western whitetail and
for the whitetail slam?
for the slam.
No.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You can do that. It's great.
Yeah.
Good for you if you can afford it.
Yeah.
Afford to do it and hunt over there. Moose?
No.
No moose?
No moose.
No moose?
I haven't even filmed a moose. I mean, I filmed everything from alligators to,
Right.
I mean, the list goes on to stuff that I filmed, you know.
So okay, real quick, do you like the filming part?
No, to be honest with you, not really. I'm not a videographer.
Okay.
I did it to give me an avenue to hunt more.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's what
Makes
it was.
sense.
And
That makes
if
sense.
you do anything with any kind of passion, it's America. You're gonna be wanted. So it works. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Just try. It doesn't really take that much to impress people. So that was my avenue to hunt more. What was funny, it's a double-edged sword. Once you become decent at something, then
That's what you do.
do.
Yeah, 100%.
And so I had to get back to hunting more. I had to back away from the filming.
Okay, now do you still film like when you and your son go out? You guys film? You do anything like that?
I'm going to start. I actually have some plans to do that kind of
That
stuff.
would be
I have a
fun.
name and different things.
That
Yes.
would be fun. You know what I mean? Because it's just the two of you and it's special and you can do it.
And I would do it more like Tacticam footage.
Yeah, 100%.
Like the
Point of view.
GoPros
Yep.
and through the scope, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I can just do establishing shots and simple stuff.
Yeah.
Clips now with social media, they're short anyway.
Yeah,
Back in our day, a hunt was 30 minutes and you had one animal.
absolutely.
And now they're with every 10 seconds. So
Yeah.
it's a different setup now.
Okay, moving on to taxidermy.
Yeah.
So Kevin, he owns his own taxidermy studio because it is an art form.
Yes.
We've talked about that. It is, again, you've seen Billy Bass on the wall,
Right.
or a trout or something on the wall. So, and you're like, oh, that's cool. People don't understand. You've had to paint that thing.
Yeah.
You paint it. You do all of it. That's, that in itself is art. Move to an animal. Move to a bird with feathers.
Right.
How do you keep the feathers on it? You know what I mean?
Yes.
How do you keep the skin? And you got to tan it.
Yes.
You have to clean it.
Yep.
You have to get all the meat off of it, but not lose feathers.
And preserve it. Yes.
And preserve it so it'll stay forever,
Right.
essentially. How do you...
So what's funny from here in the Midwest compared to out west is one of the first things that fathers teach their kid, because the animal that they kill, the animal that they hunt out there, they have to pack it out.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't come out on your shoulders. It doesn't come out on a UTV. It comes out on your back or a mule's back or a horse's back. So the first thing that kid does is when dad goes is the kid comes out and they start skinning it and they cape it. So the more you can break it down, the easier it is.
Yeah.
So the kid, even before he's even old enough to hunt, they learn
How to cape.
to cape a deer for a mount, because a lot of these are guides. Or if out west you draw a tag, somebody goes with you because it's such a demanding hunt.
Right.
You're not getting the elk out by yourself generally. There's
Right.
guys that can, but it's not really the norm.
Right.
So these kids learn field care from an early age. And around here, it's funny. I also process deer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I do that to assist because I don't feel like the animal's cared for properly the way that it should be. So, and what I've noticed is you back up to it, you throw it in your UTV, it's barely field dressed properly. So the reason that I brought that up is because I see it firsthand all the time. And to have a good mount, the first thing you have to do is get your animal dry and get it cool, get it gutted. That gets the heat out.
Right.
And it's very important. But it's funny geographically how much different we are compared to out west, Alaska, anywhere where you have to break the animal down.
Because you got to pack it
They
out.
know it instantly. The kid, I mean, it doesn't matter how old they are. If they're willing to help, they're skinning it or even caping it off of the face, taking the hair off of the head and packing the cape out for the mount. And then they skull cap it with a bone saw, and they bring out just the skull cap. So they're not taking out any extra meat. And around here, it's different.
Yeah,
People
100%.
don't have any idea.
And so as a taxidermist, what got you into taxidermy? In the first place?
And I'll backtrack a little bit more. I'm a construction worker by trade.
Yep.
I grew up in the construction field, painted houses in my 20s, had my own business. Then I became an commercial electrician, master electrician. And to be honest with you, I'm not an hourly worker. So I was good at what I did. I was a foreman on the job, all that kind of stuff, but hunting always called. So every fall, I had a really, really tough time being at work. Like I would love to, actually to the point where I thought I was lazy. I'll just be honest. I thought that I wasn't a good worker, but that's not the case. Come to find out that's not the case at all. But it was you seen the need, you heard the call. I wanted good quality taxidermy, themed mounts. Like if I went to Montana and killed a whitetail, I wanted a whitetail that looked like it came from Montana, habitat, sagebrush, whatever that it may be. And I tried to find that in my local area and I couldn't get that done. So it was, if I seen the need, I heard the call. So I became a taxidermist, and I wanted to be a taxidermist for higher end animals, pedestal mounts, wall pedestals, themed stuff. If somebody goes to New Mexico and they get an elk, then I recreate New Mexico on a base for them.
Sure.
And so that's really what it was. And it's taken me a long time to do it, but I'm getting it done.
So Last Chance
Wildlife
Design is your company. That's your taxidermy and now processing a little bit also, which, by the way, if he makes the best deer breakfast sausage on the planet.
You do like that. You do like that. I know.
I mean, it's like last year I
get
killed
phone
the deer.
calls from you. Hey, I got some burger. Can you make it into?
I did.
You did.
I'm like, when are you making sausage again? I'm bringing some burger down. I need it. It's so good. And it's relatively low fat because you don't mix a lot of fat with it.
Right.
It's delicious. Anyway, so the taxidermy part, like you said, you want something that recreates what you saw when you were hunting, where you were at, that whole thing. So you go to a class?
Yeah, there's a lot of schools and different things. I chose to do it different. A guy that I filmed with Archer's Choice, he's a taxidermist in Illinois, and I went up there and I learned the basics. But what I wanted to do, instead of going to a school, I looked through the internet and I found people that I liked certain things about their work, and I went to them and paid them as a tutor.
Oh, wow.
So I'd learn from one guy, form alterations from another, bobcats from another, and it's starting to be the norm now to do that. Yeah, wow. So you can do a taxidermy school to learn the overall gist of taxidermy, but there's specialty people out there that are known for certain things. Right. If you're in the industry, so-and-so does great noses, so-and-so has great eye work, and if you can get into one of their seminars or classes,
then you can learn.
But I wanted to fast track it, so I just got a hold of them
and said, "Hey, can I come?
And what is it going to cost me to be with you for a day?" And so they would say this amount of money, and I was there.
Yeah, or just come hang out. I guess, right?
Oh no, they want money.
Oh, sure.
It's an art form.
Oh, sure.
They're not giving up their secrets for nothing.
Right.
If you went and joined your state shows, your state organization, when you go to that show, everybody gives up information because we're all there, we're all equal, we're all trying to learn.
Right.
But if you just come to me off the street, we're not.
Right.
It's not the same.
I get it.
If you go to the shows, then nothing is secret anymore.
And so you've recreated hundreds of deer, elk, turkey, bobcats, coyotes.
I do hundreds a year.
Yeah. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of these for people. And it's expensive. It's an expensive thing to get.
Right.
People might look at a fish on the wall or a turkey on the wall and go, "Yeah, they just stuffed it," and then it's up there.
So I think it's when you see the old barroom mounts back in the dry preserve days, it was different. We have social media now. Every person has what a deer looks like at their hand.
Oh yeah,
when we were a kid, you didn't have that. So when you picked up your deer, it didn't matter what it looked like. You liked it
because it was a deer.
Taxidermists came a long way since the internet because all they got to do is look at a picture on their phone and look at the animal that the taxidermist did, and they don't look alike.
Right.
But what that is a double-edged sword for the customer because now the customer demands better work.
Which
and
costs
with that
more money.
would cost more money.
Absolutely. 100%.
And so and I'm in the business. Everybody thinks taxidermy is supposed to be cheap, but we want it to look just like a deer.
Right.
And everybody has that issue.
Yeah.
You can't win that one. We do the best. And now that the information's available, our taxidermy has skyrocketed as far as quality of work. It's amazing now.
Yeah. No, and it is great. It's awesome. I love looking at it. I mean, obviously,
Yeah, the biggest thing, like I had a guy, it's a funny story. It was a 200-inch whitetail. He took a picture of it and he sent it to me. And he's like, man, should I shoot this? It was only 14 inches wide. It was crazy. So obviously with me, I'm like, you're crazy. Get it down. So he shoots it and drives it straight to me from northern Missouri, 2.5 hours. Tan the cape, slips. But so my point with this is field care is a funny thing. It's not just field dressing. When that deer sat in the sun, one side of the deer is up in the bed of the truck. It's 70-something degrees.
Yeah.
It gets bacteria. The second the animal dies, the immune system stops.
Right.
There's only a certain amount of time that a person has with a taxidermist, whoever has with that skin.
Right.
And so with him, that animal obviously had a bacteria on it already when it made it to. I had to get him another cape. It worked out fine, but there was no reason other than it was in the heat.
Right.
But my point with it is field care isn't just finding it, getting it gutted.
Right.
It's get it out of the sun, keep it dry, get the blood off of it. Lots of different things that really makes a difference, because it's kind of like the waitress that gets scolded because the cook did something wrong.
Right. Yeah,
It's the same thing. I'm the taxidermist. I'm going to get scolded because the hunter did something wrong, or the processor.
Hear my dog.
Yeah,
He's such a turd.
he's there.
He's so mad. He's so mad his mom's not home.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Well,
He's becoming like a guest character.
Yeah,
at this
I know.
point.
Yeah, it's something
he
I'm
knows.
like.
He's like, nobody's asking me any questions.
Yeah, I know. If I let him in here, he'll literally stand here and he'll bark like
Really?
that. Yeah, hold on, watch.
Yeah.
It's
I
funny.
want to see it.
He's such a turd. Or he'll
Tell
come in
him.
here and he won't.
Tell him who's here. Be like, listen. If you knew who was here, you wouldn't be doing this.
Joe. Let's talk just a second, and we don't have to take much more time with the education for hunters. Hunters' education is pretty. I'm not going to say non-educational for some reasons. It teaches some gun safety.
Yeah.
It teaches some things
Yeah.
like that. But there's nothing out there that really teaches somebody
Well, so
who's trying to get in.
just like film and outdoor TV, everybody wants to teach advanced tactics, but everybody forgets basics. And basics are everything.
because it's one of those KISS principles.
Right,
Keep it simple.
stupid.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So it's one of those and I try to get in 45 minutes before the sun comes up
Yeah.
because I make a lot of noise.
So when I filmed, we would get in right at that first little bit of light because we were setting up. So the other thing is, if it's cold and you spend 45 minutes in the woods, that's 30, 45 minutes less. You've only got a time frame before you get cold.
Right.
But other than that, yes, I agree with you. Get in there, get things calm, settle down.
Yeah, that way it gets quiet again.
Yes.
So you can make a little noise in the dark, then it gets quiet again. So you might bump them a little bit, but they're going to eventually probably come back unless they smelled you.
Yep.
So hearing you, they'll just kind of move or stare in that direction. You might see them as soon as the sun comes up staring at you,
Yes.
like, where are you at?
Psst, I know you're there.
Yeah, yeah.
In a minute, I'm going to blow at you.
I see you. I see you. Hey, fatty, you might want to suck it in. That tree's not big enough. You know what I mean? It's like, wow. Okay. So, but there's not a lot out there to help guys who are, or whoever learn.
Yeah, but
that.
let me ask you this, though, because this is the information age. So my curiosity is not curiosity. I've seen it over and over. Hunters are notorious about knowing everything.
We think we do.
Yeah. You wouldn't be going hunting if you weren't going to win.
Right.
Like, I already know it all. I know exactly what I need. I know how to do it.
Yep.
So the humbling, right? The humbling that we
Absolutely.
talked about earlier
Absolutely.
is the teacher. Because you're, no offense, I'm just Kevin. You're just Tate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But this guy that started hunting, he already knows everything.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
I've been doing it a lifetime. You've been doing it a long time, but you're not going to tell him nothing. So even if the information was there,
he was actually pretty.
so he was in a position to listen.
because he was like, I've been hunting. This is my second year. He said, I know I need help because I don't know.
Right.
He
Good.
goes, I love being out there, but he didn't know to go in the dark.
Yeah.
He didn't know where he was hunting. I said, do you have a food source? And he said, yeah. He said, across the road, there's a bean field.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm in this strip of timber that's in between a bean field and just like a pasture. And that's my timber, and that's where I hunt. And I'm like, okay, good.
Yeah.
Which way was the wind blowing this morning to where your stand is?
Did he know?
He was like, he goes, I don't know. It was kind of, and I said, okay, time out.
Yeah.
You have to know.
So for me, it's funny, with all the deer that I mount, I ask a lot of questions to the hunters. And what I have found out, that there's a 90-10, 80-20 rule.
Right.
20% of my customers are legit. They have everything down to a science. The rest of the people go hunting. There's a lot of successful people that don't right? There is that guy. And we all know him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coughing, burping, everything,
Eating,
smoking cigarettes, whatever that it may be.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
they're very successful.
It's luck.
And then there's the other guy that takes it extremely serious, right? That
Yep.
and that tactic works for them.
Yeah.
But the majority of my customers is funny. They don't.
Or they try, or maybe not so successful at
Well,
some of the things.
everybody is and I mean this respectfully because we're all hunters, but everybody's a hardcore hunter. Just ask them.
Yeah, just ask them.
Just
Right.
ask 'em.
Especially this month and next month.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But like I said, he was in a position, and not that I know everything, because I still learn and ask questions from people like you.
Yeah.
I call you, hey, have you
Yeah.
ever seen this? You ever heard this? Have you ever, have you ever experienced this? Because that's how I learn.
Yeah.
And I know, hey, don't do that. If it even remotely sounds dumb, I try not to do it. Like,
Right.
should I walk in now? Or should I? Maybe I shouldn't get down right now because I've heard deer grunting. Maybe I shouldn't get down.
Right.
It's 11 o'clock. I'm hungry. Don't get down.
Don't get down. It's not the time. Right.
It's not the time. You know what I mean, or whatever. I've been stuck on a tree and busted on a tree because
Yeah.
I was coming down, and I'm like,
There they are.
and there they are, and they're staring at me, and I'm like, well, I'm just going to sit here as long as my hands and feet will stay,
Yeah.
and without falling off the side of the tree, and so I've been in those positions. I've learned from those,
Yeah.
but you can't. It doesn't matter. You can play the wind. You can be on time. You can do everything right, scent free. Put your bag. Put your clothes. You wash your clothes. You wash yourself. You wash your towel. Here's another thing.
Yep.
It's the little things, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm going to try to give myself that 1/18th of a more percent to see a deer, because I wash my towel that I'm going to dry off with in scent-free stuff. A lot of people don't do that.
Right.
A lot of people just grab a towel. Well, towel smells good.
Smells like Downy.
Yeah, it smells like April fresh
Or,
spring flowers.
Or Mama Sherbert.
Yeah, or whatever.
Scentsy, whatever it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I wash my towel and all my clothes, my socks, everything. I wash all of it. I go in, I shower, scrub myself down with the scent away soap and all that.
Yeah.
So I'm doing everything I can on my end
Right.
to not smell like a person.
Right.
I get in my truck and clothes that have been washed in that stuff. I'm not in my camouflage.
Yeah.
I get dressed in the field, if at all possible. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go sit in this ground blind, or I'm going to sit in this box blind, and I'm freezing.
Out of all of the animals that I've hunted, whitetails are the notorious for this. When we hunt elk, we wear boots that we've wore all year long.
Yeah.
Like it's the wind. We play the wind. That's it. You're not gonna. You're walking 10 to 15 miles some days.
Yeah.
There's no scent control
Right.
with whitetails.
Right.
Where it's a totally different thing. So what you're talking about is because it's such a crazy freak of an animal that can smell anything.
Yeah. Like, I think you were talking about their nose one time. And you said, like a dog's nose is great, right? But a deer smells better than a dog does. Like
It can
dog,
smell. It smells your feet, your hands, your hat, the towel,
Yeah.
the leaves. It smells all of them at one time.
Right. And like you said, we smell a cookie, a chocolate chip cookie. A dog can smell
Everything in it.
and then the deer smells what the things that were in it was
Yeah.
made of.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And the guy at the plant who made it.
Yes.
Or whatever. So just as a perspective, I do as a hunter, I try everything I can. I spray myself down. I spray all my stuff when I get out of the truck.
So, and the other reason too that you do this, I can only cut you off, but is for preservation of your place.
Yeah.
So even though you're doing that not to be winded today, when you leave, your odor's still left behind.
Yep.
So the more preparation you have, the rubber boots, the scent control. When you leave and the animal comes through in the dark, there is no tape hanging out there while you're gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that is the biggest thing. And once again, whitetails are notorious for that.
Yeah.
Patterning you before you can pattern them.
And that's what we're trying to do.
Yes.
Especially early season. You put your cameras out, you go look at this stuff and all that. Okay, let's get to some meat and potatoes of hunting and what some people don't know.
Okay.
What the animals what they eat.
Yeah.
You know, sure, they're plant eaters.
Right.
You know, majority of the animals we're hunting are plant eaters. So they need
Forage browse.
Yeah. or anything like that. So they'll eat everything from tree bark to you know, whatever they find that's palatable for them.
Right.
Beans, obviously. If you have soybeans,
Right.
you know, early season,
Legumes,
the deer, they're going to be out there doing breaststrokes in the deep green beans, you know,
Right.
and they live in them.
Yes.
You'll see them bedded down in them because they don't have to go. They're just sitting there snacking, like, oh hey, grab another pod of beans, you know, and they don't have to move. Corn, same thing with corn. As soon as that ear is old enough to have kernels.
If it's the right season, a deer, if it's a small plot, they will wipe a corn plot out. They'll just pull them off of the stalk as soon as it smells sweet.
Yeah, and it's one of those, you know. So, obviously you see them in bean fields, you see them in cornfields.
Yep.
Clover.
Oh yeah.
And so now in different.
I think
parts,
it's an underrated food plot. It was one of the first food plots. Imperial whitetail clover had one of that was their first food plot, and then now it's oats and rye, wheat. All these things, and clover is a very good one. It's
clover,
all year round.
Clover. It's a great source of vitamins and nutrients that deer, especially whitetails. If we're just truly talking whitetails, they need clover. And some rye and some things like that are natural. I've heard people the brassicas basically. If you can plant brassicas and have them. I hope I'm saying that right.
So that's like your turnips, your radishes, your brassicas, the big tops for tonnage.
Yeah.
And because it'll turn to sugar after the first
when
frost.
freeze.
Yes.
Yeah, when they freeze, and you'll see them out there gnawing on a big old turnip.
Yep.
You know,
And that's all palatability.
Yeah.
Is what that is, because it'll be green when everything else is dead.
Yep. So, you know, we plant things so we can grow big deer,
Right.
meaning antler trophies.
Yeah.
You know, we're looking at trophy hunters, right? We're trophy hunters. A big doe is a trophy to me. You shoot a smart doe, you've done something A for the population of your deer, B for hunting in that area because she's going to tell on you.
Everybody talks about doing herd management. One of the biggest things is doe control, but that's one of the biggest skipped steps, I think.
I agree.
Because that leads to social pressure in animals. And what I've seen over the years is big deer do not like heavy social pressure. So when you have so back in the day, it was have as many does as you can on your place, and the bucks will come in and you'll just have random bucks. But that's really not the case because the bucks don't have to travel for the does. They don't have to search.
They don't have to go
They don't have to go nowhere. There's just doe after doe. So they don't have to show themselves. They don't have to travel. They don't have to troll. They don't. And it creates an issue. There's only so much carrying capacity of the land.
Again, that's something like this year. We call it doe patrol.
Yeah.
This year's doe patrol year, right? So we're going to take as many off our land as we can, whether that's 8 or 10 or whatever. You know, we have an abundant doe population. Every year
Most people do.
You know, and so we're trying to thin them out. You know, fill the freezer. Because that's the easiest way to do it. You know, fill the freezer early, then you can trophy hunt. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And again, here's another thing. If you don't eat deer meat, some people hate it.
Yeah, they do. You're right.
Donate that deer.
Right. Yeah.
Help
Share
feed
the harvest.
Help feed.
Give it to a neighbor.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Help feed families that need meat.
Yeah.
It's great meat. It's the healthiest. It's the most organic meat you can get.
Right.
from any grocery store. You're not going to find it any less fat, without chemicals, without all that stuff. You know what I mean? It's the cleanest meat you can have. So anyway, that's my little preach about helping
About venison.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about sharing the harvest.
There you go.
Basically. Anyway, so we try to keep the doe population down because I've always heard that, like you said, big bucks don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
If they don't have to get out, if they don't have to really get up out of their bedroom, they're not going to. They are the apex. I mean,
Right.
they're the dominant thing on their property. Whether it's a 800 acre piece of land, or an 80 acre piece of land, or
I see there was a 200-inch deer killed not far from me, and he didn't leave 40 acres.
That's
He did the year before. He was a wounded animal, but when he reached 200 inches, he stayed on a 40-acre piece of property.
because he didn't have to leave.
Didn't have to leave. I mean, where this area was, I could drive a mile and see 30, 40 does, not a horn one.
Yeah.
And he just didn't need to go anywhere. He was fed good. He had plenty of cover where he was at, and all the does. And at that time, he was taken before the rifle season, but up until then, he never left that 40 acres. And I know because I had cameras everywhere that I could. I couldn't get him.
Right.
But obviously, the neighbor could, and the neighbor ended up getting him. But that particular deer was a secluded animal.
Yeah. Again, and you don't, because he didn't have to go anywhere. So you thin out the doe population. It creates, and it's good. It's healthy for your land, because you're not feeding as many people, or deer. You're not feeding as many.
Social pressure and, like I said, carrying capacity of the land. That's just what it comes down to.
And I've heard the argument, hey, we don't need to kill does. I don't do that. We don't do that. We don't need to do that. There's no sense in it. Okay. If that's how you believe, and do your thing.
Yep.
Hopefully it works for you, and some guys it does. For whatever reason, they kill big deer every year.
Yeah, they do.
And they never kill a doe ever. Which, whatever, that's on them. That's their deal. For me, it's kind of like, let's figure it out. Let's thin some does out and see if we see bigger deer.
Yeah, so
or more
me
bucks.
and my brother did this very thing. We had 80 acres, and 1 year we just seen an enormous amount of does.
Mm-hmm.
The bucks came in, the bucks left. They were gone. And we continued to see doe after doe. And we had friends come over that wanted a deer, and they killed them. And I think we took 8 or 10 off of there. The very next year, we had 3 mature bucks come in on that property, and we took 2 of them off of there. And the only thing different was we eliminated social pressure.
And so that's what we're trying. This is our year. We're gonna try to kill as many. Basically thin them out and harvest as many as we can. Like I said, I know people who are like, hey, if you get a deer, I'll take it. I'm like, okay, cool. Good. I'll try to get you one. I'll get mine, and then I'll get you one if I can. That's the whole thing. So we're going to try to kill 3 apiece, 3 does this year apiece. And I don't care if it's
Does your property up there hold deer year round?
Yes.
Because the reason that I'm saying that is that sometimes I think people miss. I have different properties, and I can hunt them different times of the year, especially where we're from. They're 20 acres, 40 acres. Even if it's 100 acres, not every property holds deer all year long.
Yeah, we do.
And so I have different properties that I hunt early season. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have food, but I'll have acorns, so there'll be deer there. The rut, there's a lot of deer there. Once the rut starts, I don't have a deer on it. Then I have other properties that are closer to crop ground that are much better depending upon the crop that's planted.
Right.
But I can hunt them all the way into the muzzleloader season, January, and so on.
Sure.
And I think sometimes people need to realize they need to analyze the property they have and capitalize when those animals are there.
Our property, our big property,
yes,
the 540 acres, our big property, holds deer year round.
Yeah.
And you can see some days, They'd counted 40 does in the field at one time.
Nice.
In one field. And I'm like, that's a lot.
How long you been in that property now?
7 years.
Okay, yeah.
This is going on 7.
I remember going and looking at it with you.
So we hold deer. It's kind of because we don't have food.
Yeah.
We are CRP and timber. And
but you have
creeks.
Food adjacent somewhere.
Yeah. Almost on every side.
So that's why you are their cover.
So we're their cover. Yes. So and it's so hard, to hunt. It's hard to hunt that property correctly wind-wise.
Right.
Because the whole west side of the property, we can't even get in.
Right.
There's an 80-acre timber piece.
Which I love that piece, by the way.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
You can't get in it.
Yeah.
Because
Southwest, west, northwest wind. It's very difficult to do anything with it.
Yeah, you can't. They know you're in it before you actually step in. So that piece, that 80 acres, holds a ton of deer because right across the street this year was corn.
Yeah.
So they just hop across the street, eat, come back. Then on the other side, on the far east edge,
when you say street, it was just a 2-track road, right?
Yeah, it's just gravel.
Yeah.
It's all gravel. But it's funny because right across the road on the east side, which is all CRP, on the whole southeast part of our property, like a 80-acre piece is CRP. There's not a damn tree on it,
right? Except
the creek line that's 20 feet wide. That's it. Only trees on it. It's literally a huge terraced thing of CRP.
Now,
bean field right next door.
In Wichita area where I hunt, we do a lot of predator hunting there. The whitetails will actually bed in the fields. They bed in the fields around a single tree, and then they get up and walk to the timber to feed at night. It's very strange compared to around here because our deer generally bed in the timber, walk out to the fields.
Right.
To eat.
I think we have a lot of bedding in that CRP.
Yeah.
Obviously, because it's 7 foot tall.
Oh, yeah.
The CRP is literally 7 foot tall. Hayden shot his doe the other night. We were walking in the CRP finding blood, and he's 6'4", and it was a good foot above his head.
Good year for CRP, huh?
Yeah, and I'm like, wow, we're never going to see him in there. Is what Anyway, it's that property's, but we hold deer year round. You see bucks and does year round on that property, but it's just hard wind wise getting in. We have a big 40-acre hayfield. And it's like you got to cross that thing to get to several stands, and it's cut.
Yes,
and you're like,
here I am. Look at me.
Hi guys.
Yeah, no green screen, no nothing to get in. You're just walking.
Yeah, you're just walking. Yeah. So anyway, I think if you were to talk to a brand new hunter, let's say I'm a brand new hunter. AJ has never bow hunted in his entire life, but he's going to do it this year.
Yeah, great.
Give him some advice. What advice would you give AJ this year? Brand new year, brand new, here we go. Season's getting ready to start. And let's say he's got 100-acre piece of ground. He's got a little bit of timber, of mature timber with some acorns that'll fall. Got a little creek line. Not a lot of water in the creek, but a little creek line. And he's got food adjacent to his property on both sides. So the east and west side, it has food, corn and beans on one side or the other. And he's got a little CRP pasture land and some timber.
Yeah.
Advice for AJ, what would you?
So the number one things that beginner hunters do is they overhunt. And I know that sounds funny, but once again, we have pressure. And those animals know you're there even long after you're gone. So the easiest thing to do on a small piece of property is to overhunt it. But how I hunt all of my properties, what I would say to him is start on the outsides early season. Don't go into the inside. Leave it alone. Don't blow your wind in there. Even if it seems like because sometimes you got to scratch the itch. You just got to go hunting. Mm-hmm. So sit back, sit away on a field edge that's not invasive. And there'll probably be a deer come down the field edge. As the rut goes on, you can move in, and then as the late season, move back out. But the biggest thing is don't overhunt it. Mm-hmm. And I know that sounds funny, but when I hunted my Kansas property, I only had to hunt it 5 times to kill a mature deer. And one of the best things that happened is I didn't overhunt it.
Right.
It's easier to kill a deer in a week than it is the whole hunting season.
Sure.
So when if you know where to put your stand and you keep the wind in your face, the sun to your back, and you do it right, you can hunt it longer if you hunt it less.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? That's one. I could give all kinds of other things, but if you blow it out and the deer pattern you before you pattern them, you're not even in the game anymore.
Sure, 100% agree.
To a new hunter, it's hunt right, hunt when the timing is right, the barometric pressure is right, which is higher barometric pressure, the better.
The more they move,
Yeah,
the more they get up.
Try not to be seen, smelt, or heard. Get in there and hunt when it's right. And every other time, do something else. Or have a different piece of property that you just go and screw it up. I know that sounds funny, but beginning hunters are notorious for just pounding a property. And the more you pound it, the deer eventually learn. Like there's property boundaries. Coyotes have property boundaries. Deer, they mark things. And when you go in there and you touch the tree and you have your feet on the ground, you're marking that as yours. And eventually deer either only come by there at night or they just eliminate that area totally.
Right.
And so I've been way more successful hunting a property less than I ever have just saying I'm going to be hardcore and hunting it over and over and over.
Right.
But eventually you're just sitting in the desert.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what's happening. And not saying that you won't see a deer, but your bigger, mature deer, even does, they just learn.
Yeah.
And then they move away from you.
Yeah.
So as far as the best advice is hunt it right. It's just like practice.
Yeah.
Perfect practice.
Makes perfect. Yeah, sure. 100%.
So it's not how much, it's how precise. And it's the same way with beginning as an archer or a hunter, period.
Would you encourage people to get into taxidermy as an art form that you like and you're good at? Would you encourage a kid?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Obviously,
yeah.
I try to encourage people to get out and hunt and do things like that.
When it comes to taxidermy, I mean, that's one of the things too, that it doesn't matter if it's interior design, home building, taxidermy. I mean, it's art. There's a lot of different types of art. And as far as, this is America. If you start a business, you can make it anything you want to. So just because you're a taxidermist doesn't mean you have to do mounts in your basement. You can take it anywhere you want to.
Sure.
And taxidermy is, it's funny. It is an adult art class. I mean, you think about it. Everything that we do is paints, glues, needle and thread, clays. I mean, it's an adult art class. I mean, it's awesome.
Sure.
So, I would encourage anybody to do that. You're working with your hands. You're building something on your own. You're proud of it. And if you put your heart and soul into it as equally as much as the people who went out to hunt their animal, it's hard to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, man, thank you for taking your time, coming and hanging out with AJ and I today. AJ's like, man, AJ's like, I'm not a hunter guy. I'm just really not into the hunting game.
When he feels his heart rate fly up and his heart beat out of his chest, then he needs to be hooked.
It is one of those things that when you do it and you're even half-ass successful.
Yes.
It's like,
yes.
When I see does, I'm like, oh, deer. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, there they are.
Yeah.
Here we go. Am I going to shoot one? Am I going to get an opportunity to harvest one? Maybe, maybe not, but I get excited. I'm like, okay, here we go. Now I feel like, and I don't know, I feel fatter when I'm standing in my camouflage in a tree. I know it sounds dumb, but when I look down, I'm like, golly. There's no way they don't see me up here.
Right.
I'm like, my belly looks 3 times bigger than it is. And I'm like, I feel, and then you got all that stuff. Here's the kind of thing. We talked about, comic book heroes and stuff. Batman's always been my guy.
Right.
Because he's just a normal dude, but he's just got, I think I said he had a badass belt, tool belt, right?
Yeah.
He's got all these cool tools. And I'm like, hunters, we're kind of like Batman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got all this cool stuff.
Yeah. A lot of guys are gadget guys.
Oh, gadgets. I got things.
Stuff.
I'm like, I don't even have to, they just fall back. And if I need my rangefinder, it's right here connected to
There's a lot of companies making lots of money on gadget guys.
On me.
Hunters.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
My wife likes to call me a collector.
Well,
she's
hunters
like,
are collectors.
Yeah, she was like, what, why do you need that? I don't know,
but
it's
I do.
Cool. It's cool. Check it out. Yeah, I need it.
And I need one more and another.
I got 5 stands in this area. I'm going to need 5
more.
Yeah, I need 5 more. But it's kind of funny with that. It's musicians. We're the same. Think about guitar players. Yeah. Guitar players are collectors. They got to have this. They got to have this. Then another pedal. Well, I got 2 pedals now. I probably ought to get another one just because. We do that as musicians and also too. But you put on your stuff. You put on your camo.
Yeah.
You get into that mode of I got to sneak in, and I got to do
Yeah, but
everything.
you get to go right then for that fall time of the year. You get to go and relive some generational gene that's deep down inside of you. You
Absolutely.
get to go live it. It's the only time of the year that you get to do that.
My father-in-law is not a hunter. In fact, he's just like, oh, I could never. He wants to go, but he just wants to take pictures
Yeah.
and watch. But I guarantee he's the guy that you take and you'd see a deer and you're like, okay, I'm going to kill this one. Okay. And then as soon as you drew your bow, he'd be like, go, run. You know what I mean? He'd be that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's funny because I'm like, if you just sit out there, listen, I can go and sit in the woods and not see a deer. And it's okay.
Yeah.
For me, it's like going to church.
Right. Cleansing. Yes.
It is. And I know people are like, well, whatever, spiritual. No, it is. I am real. When you're in the morning and you go out in the morning and you sit in the morning and then
watch the world come alive.
Dude, is that not one of the, and then at night when
Yes.
it's just like
it's going to sleep.
It's going
the
to
birds
sleep.
roost.
Yeah,
the
everything
insects.
stops.
Yes, everything
The
goes away. The winds calm down. The thermals start changing.
Yeah, and
the
it's-
smells get different.
Yeah, and it's like you watch it wake
So this
up,
sounds
and
weird
you
to
watch
people
it
that
go
have
to
never
sleep.
done it. But you know what I thought about is all of the kids that grow up in inner cities. Because to me and you, this is normal.
Sure.
Right? We're talking about things that's just part of life.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how many people don't know. That's what's surprising is they sit there and they're on social media and they say those things. Why do you hunt? And why do you do? I didn't realize that they've never been introduced to it. They've never seen or smelt those smells. They've never seen what goes on in the world on a daily basis outside of, as Ted Nugent would say, the concrete jungle.
Absolutely. Okay, so if you think about it too, you want to connect with yourself.
Right. You will never be a better person than chasing an animal that its only job is to live.
You to connect with yourself.
Yes.
To basically give yourself a reboot in your whole soul.
Your purpose.
Your whole
Everything.
I try to explain that to people who don't hunt.
Yeah, they won't get it.
And they're just like, oh.
It probably sounds weird to the people listening that have never done it.
Right. But when you go out, like I said, I don't have to see a deer. I don't have to kill a deer. Is it great when you get to harvest an animal?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's that's why we do it. And plus I get to enjoy.
But we're not killers. That's the thing. We do kill. It's the byproduct of hunting, but we're not killers.
I don't
That's
go out
not
to
what
kill.
Right.
I don't go out to kill. I go out to, okay, yes, I do. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I do go to kill an animal.
It is the byproduct of what we do, though.
Right. But
It's the end result.
it's so much more than that.
Right.
To get to just in the thing where you get to go sit into nature. You
melt in. You sit down in that tree and you melt in, and the world comes alive around you. The squirrels start running around. The birds start flying. The hawks, the crows, everything lands on you. Animals start walking by you, and you're sitting there going, "This happens every day while I'm at work.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
This happens
Every day,
every
all the
single
time.
day."
And I get lucky enough right now to be a part of this.
Yeah, and then same thing when the sun starts going down. Everybody comes up. Sometimes you don't want them to come up in the tree because they want to go. They're like, "Hey, dude, I was sleeping there yesterday."
It's just like a front row ticket to Marty Stauffer's Wild America.
It's absolutely.
That's it.
So my thing is when I talk
That dated us, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, come on. But it's like to me, I don't have to see a deer. I don't have to kill an animal to enjoy nature, to enjoy what God made.
Right.
And it is cleansing. It's like I've solved world hunger several times. I'm not telling
From
anybody.
a tree stand, right?
Absolutely, I'm not gonna tell anybody.
I know.
But I've made pacts with myself. I have argued with myself. I've done so many things in a tree stand or in a ground blind or in a deer blind by myself that, you want to get close, be out there by yourself in nature. There's nothing like it.
Alone with just your thoughts.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
There's nothing like it. There's truly nothing like
Yeah,
it.
the only company you have is your thoughts.
Yeah. And sometimes it's for me, like I said, I'm just like, oh my God, this is amazing. It is truly beautiful.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're in a bean field or sitting over just a CRP field or in the timber. You just look around and you're like, man, this is cool.
And we're just talking whitetails right now. Yeah. It's the same whether you're here in Elk Bugle in the West or you're running dogs for a mountain lion or sitting up in the boreal forest for bear. and you're hearing the ravens.
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
It's the well, being in, like, I was in West Virginia in the dark. That was a little spooky. Not gonna lie. I'm like, there's bears out here, and I'm walking up these 2-track logging roads, and I'm like, with a bow.
Yeah, see, like with me out west where I hunt elk, it's not bears or mountain lions, it's rattlesnakes because we're walking everywhere in the dark, and there's darn rattlesnakes out there.
Yeah, I'm just like,
As long as you don't hit any spiders.
Yeah.
yeah. No, I'm like, dude, I gotta.
You're the one waving a stick
Absolutely.
everywhere you go.
Yeah, damn right.
You're
I
looking
am.
like Billy Jack Stevens out there.
I'm at like, especially right when I get in the timber
I
line.
won't lie, I do it too.
Listen, right when I get to
If
the
you ever
timber,
ate one, it's easier to just carry the stick.
I just take it. I'll take an arrow out of my quiver and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't. Hey, whatever, whatever works.
Everybody, you know, that everybody has that picture in their head. They're like, I do it too.
Yeah,
I do it. We all do it.
Yeah, we all do it.
Nobody wants to have it on their face.
No. There, and you can't. Once it hits it,
Yeah,
and
you
it's-
can't pull it off. It's just
like
stuck
this,
to you.
and you're like, oh my god, where's he at? And as you back up, you're like, he's on me.
Yes.
And my thing is, oh my, if soon as I feel something, I'm like,
Have
wham,
it,
wham, wham. Yeah, no, it's not good. It's not good. It is not good.
I noticed that you said Batman, not Spider-Man.
Yeah, no, Batman.
So,
dude.
yeah,
Batman.
because they're,
Batman.
you know, that's still just some normal guy, but
No,
you
I
didn't
know.
go there.
No, I know. Batman. I feel like Batman when I put on my stuff. And I'm in the woods, you know what I mean?
Think of a question?
Yeah, favorite food?
Boxers or briefs?
Boxers or briefs? Perfect. Okay, favorite food? Boxers or briefs? He's calling me.
He's calling you?
He's calling me.
Surprise.
Hello? Are you there?
I'm here.
Hey,
And,
well, surprise, you're on a podcast.
oh my gosh.
All right,
Wow.
Mike Rogers. Listen, we just called Mike Rogers out of the blue. He didn't know it was coming. Me and AJ are here doing our podcast. This is a new thing we're doing called Surprise You're on a Podcast. We just call random people, and hopefully they answer.
love it.
So, okay, now listen. Just a little. We're going to update a little bit. Mike was on season 1. He was the second.
Yes.
The second episode of season 1.
I think he was our first guest.
He was
wasn't
our very first guest.
Yeah.
And so just a little recap on Michael, most talented person on the planet.
Shoot.
And now he is, he was with Craig Morgan. Craig Morgan's band leader forever and ever. He was out with me, my band leader. Then he was he's done bluegrass. He had a bluegrass stint, which was dumb. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing.
Fun.
Then
It wasn't dumb. It was fun.
it was fun,
Fun.
son. Fun. Fun. And
Fun.
then he's out. He has a new project. It's been going for about a year now with the
Brotherly Love.
Brotherly Love.
Love.
Yeah, man, and that's going great. Him, Jimmy Fortune, Bradley Walker, and Ben Isaacs. What a great! I mean, to me, it's just a new, better version of the Statler Brothers. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. Because
Man,
it's awesome. It is awesome, and people are loving it, man. Everybody I've talked to, Clay Walker's guys couldn't get enough of you guys, enough of the music. Honestly, and
Oh, God.
it was awesome. Vance was like, "Hey, can I get tickets?" I know he's a big Jimmy Fortune fan too, and he said, "Hey, Jimmy's coming. And you think you could get me tickets?" So I had to call Jimmy, and I said, "Hey, can you hook my guy up?" And he did. He's so nice, for that too. But how that's going good, right? Everything's going good with that.
Going great.
And
Going so good.
and now that you're getting to do what you should have been doing years ago, and you're playing with your hero, I know, and
Yeah.
one of AJ's heroes. You got your dream gig right now with Ricky Skaggs. You are a member of the Kentucky Thunder.
Man.
Dude, that's awesome. That is so cool.
Thank you.
So enough about you. Why don't you say some nice things about me now, and then we can be done with this.
Well,
I'm
hands
just teasing.
Hands down.
I'm teasing. So, okay, we got 3 questions, Michael. Are you ready?
Come on.
3 questions.
Yeah.
Boxers or briefs?
None.
None. He said none. He's commando. Commando.
Waste of money, waste of time.
Boxer.
Okay.
Boxer.
All right. Your favorite food?
Sausage.
Sausage. He said sausage.
You know,
Okay.
sausage. Assortment of sausages and hamburgers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the next thing is the last question.
Okay.
Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Wow, that's good. Oh man, it's tough.
That's a tough one.
I'm gonna go with chocolate.
Just chocolate
I'm
ice
gonna go
cream.
with chocolate.
Boom.
Just regular chocolate ice cream.
It's easy. It's easy.
All
Chocolate
right.
ice cream,
All right.
maybe with some peanut butter in there, but chocolate. Yeah.
Okay. So you were at the Opry tonight. Were you playing the Opry tonight?
Yeah, they had me come in to sing.
Oh,
With
good.
staff band. So, and then the Isaacs were on there, which are new members of the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah. Yes.
You know?
And it's only taken them 30 years, I guess. I mean,
God,
it's been too
they
long.
should have been in the first year. They're so good.
Absolutely. But hey, they're in. They made it, and it's all good
Oh,
now.
my gosh.
The world can be right now. So,
The world is right.
okay, buddy. Well, listen, that's all I needed. I just wanted to call and say,
it?
hey, yeah, I told you it's going to be easy, short and simple.
Well, there's, I have a story real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
So-
Go ahead.
So when I was out with you, Tate,
Uh-huh.
I remember one time I got on the bus. We just got done with the show, and you probably know where I'm going with this. I go back to the back of the bus, and I look on the floor, and it's snowing. It was snowing.
It was.
In the
it was
bus.
snowing in our bus. That's right.
Kate kept the bus so cold it snowed. We had a snowstorm. We had to close down the hallway. So it was dangerous.
That was
Snowstorm.
hilarious. That is true. That is
Yeah.
you can't make that up. It was snowing.
It was amazing. It
was-
snowed in our bus.
It was so good.
When I went to bed, I was like, "Oh, this is so good. I love it."
Okay. I'm so cold. It's so cold and dark in here. I love it.
Yeah. Well, so are we done? Is that it?
That's it, man.
I can give you some more information.
No,
That's
no,
my guess.
no. You're good. You've done enough
Okay.
work.
We'll have to get him back as
Okay.
a regular guest here one of these days.
Now, yeah, we'll have you
I'd
on.
love to.
We're gonna have you on. Then we can talk more about music and what's really happening.
Oh.
And I just wanted to call and say, hey, surprise, you're on a podcast.
I love it. Well,
All right,
thank
buddy.
you so much.
All right, man.
Love
Well,
you, man.
I miss
I'll
you. I
see
love
you
you.
guys.
Okay, we'll see you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Michael Rogers. Surprise, you're on a podcast. That worked out. Yes.
Nice.
Perfect. All right. Look, I enjoyed this. This has been awesome. Again, this podcast is my sweet life. It's the sweet life.
right.
It's what I enjoy. AJ obviously too, but he's not a hunter really. But
Yeah.
what we talk about on this, it makes us. It's kind of what makes us tick. And hunting is one of those things that I've done it since I was a kid. I've loved it. I've taught my son to do it.
Yeah.
I can't wait till I have grandkids. So I can't wait. But, when I have grandkids one of these days, I'm going to take them hunting.
Sure.
I want them to experience it.
Yep.
I got my wife into going. She shot her first
Well, it's
doe.
a heritage. I mean, it's passed down from one
Absolutely.
generation to the next.
Absolutely. My wife shot her first deer last year with me. She hunted when she was a little girl with her dad. She's been bear hunting and all kinds of stuff. So, but she's never killed a deer,
Yeah.
and so she shot her first doe last year, and it was awesome. It was a great time. I mean, I'm like, now she's hooked. She loves
Right.
it. She wants to go. She's like, if I don't kill anything, I'm fine. I just want to go with you because it's awesome. And I'm like, 100% agree. 100% agree.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it, man. I love it, and that's why it was kind of cool because I'm like, man, I want to. It's deer season right now.
It is.
It's 100%.
It is.
I should have been in the woods tonight, but we're doing this. My thing is, it's God gave us this
Resource.
resource to use. and it's never ending.
Right. Renewable.
It's a renewable resource that we can enjoy as Americans and as people. Not even American, all over the world. I mean, there's animals all over the
Hunting's
world.
created bonds as long as there's been hunting.
Yeah.
I mean, some of my best friends I meet in camps all over the United States and Canada, and I'm still in contact with them.
Yeah.
All because of hunting.
Yeah. And it is something that truly, when you're around hunters,
Yep.
we're brothers.
Yep.
It's more, I mean, literally, you don't know these people from Adam, but you know him.
You do.
You immediately have something in common. You have something
Spider
to
webs.
interest. Spider webs. You can
Scared of the dark.
all
All
of it.
that. Yeah.
It's all in there,
there.
man. It's all in there. Well, Kevin, man, I appreciate you being on. Thanks for taking your time. We'll have you back. We'll talk some more. It's all good stuff. So, all right, guys. Thank you. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Episode number 2 on the episode number 2 for season 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Ain't this a sweet life?
Hey guys, thanks for listening. Want to ask a question for a future episode? Well, hit us up on Facebook or Twitter with hashtag Sweet Life Podcast. And be sure to give us a 5-star rating and hit that subscribe button. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to stay up to date on the latest news and information for the Sweet Life Podcast. And we'll see you next time.